Hey guys, what's up? It's Jonathan with One Big Impact. So welcome and good morning. This is the 60-day New Year, New You Challenge. So first of all, congratulations to everybody. Please get your weigh-in videos in today. If you're not in the challenge or if you're new here, today's video is actually going to be based on Atkins Phase 1. If you think you know everything about it, please just comment below if you're in the challenge and carry on with your day. It's going to be a pretty long video because I want to be as extensive as possible and be able to cover as much as possible. So if you're definitely new to Atkins, this could be a really beneficial video, or if maybe you're looking for more tips. So let's get started. Okay, so we got to go through 25 things, so bear with me. I'll do lots of chopping and editing to make it as quick as possible and compact as humanly possible, which is actually going to take a long time, but that doesn't matter. This is what I do. So first of all, if you're getting started and you're new to this, please follow a meal plan. Follow a strict meal plan. If you don't know where to go, or you don't know what to do, or if you need certain dietary restrictions, please contact me personally. You can do that through the Facebook group, Healthy Living for a Healthy Life. I'll put the links in the description below. I personally use my little binder here, and I put my meal plans, if I can get it open, in here. You can purchase them from me. They're not expensive, but it does help tremendously. Many people in the group have followed my meal plans and they have seen successes through that. Atkins is not something that you could just eat loads of anything you want. You have to actually be strict, diligent about what you're eating. Portions are a huge factor. The next thing is, number 2, is I see tons of information going around on the internet that you can literally stay below 10 carbs, 20 carbs, 15 carbs, whatever. So here's the actual information. The actual information is your range is 18 to 22 net carbs per day in Phase 1. That's total. You actually want 12 to 15 net carbohydrates through fresh vegetables or frozen vegetables, canned vegetables, it doesn't really matter. And then the remainder will come through eggs, cheeses, and meats, which is only a few, but they do add up throughout the day to equal that 18 to 22. Number 3 is you are going to be consuming absolutely zero sugar. There may be a couple small minutes naturally in some vegetables and maybe some meats or whatever, but you're not going to be consuming sugar. So read the labels, make sure nothing that you are consuming has added sugar in it. It's just a good general rule of thumb. The next thing is, number 4, you cannot consume unlimited amounts of meats and cheeses. Contrary to what a lot of people think Atkins is that you can literally consume as many meats and as many cheeses as you possibly can in a day and still lose weight. Let's be honest, if you don't have like food addiction or anything like that, that could potentially work in a roundabout way if you know when to stop eating. Personally, I could eat meat and I could eat 10,000 calories a day and not want to stop. And the basis is calories in versus calories out with any meal plan, any diet, anything is literally how much are you consuming, how much are you burning. If you're not in a deficit, you're not going to lose weight. It's just what it is. If you have food addictions, I highly suggest that you follow a strict meal plan, or at the very least, make sure you're controlling your portions. Number 5, rest is a major factor. Now, if you watch my recent videos, I did talk about the 2 hormones that have a lot to do with rest and weight loss, are ghrelin and leptin. If you're not getting the proper amount of sleep every night, which is usually for a grown adult about 6 to 8 hours, then those 2 major hormones are going to go completely out of whack. Your body's not going to release waste as much, and you are just not going to function properly as a normal functioning human. So it's really important that you get your rest. Work on rest just as much as you work on weight loss, and if the 2 are in sync, you're going to see amazing results. But it's really important that your body gets the proper amount of rest. If you don't, you're not hitting the gym properly, you're craving foods, you're just making bad choices throughout the day, you're really sluggish, your hormones are all out of whack, your mood is jacked up. So it's really important that you focus on sleep just as much as you do every other factor in order to get the proper amount of weight loss. Number 6 is do your research. Like Brianna Riddle from the group Healthy Living for a Healthy Life just said recently, you can go pick up good books at Goodwill or half-price books or Bookman's. You can buy used books. You could probably even find used books on like Craigslist or something like that. You can even find used books on Amazon. A lot of people don't realize that you can find used stuff on Amazon. I got this on Amazon, and I'll put it in the link in the description below. This is Dr. Atkins' New Diet Revolution. And if you read this perfectly front to back, I promise you are going to be 100 times more educated. It's really important not only to be educated on what you're doing because it's going to benefit your process, but you're going to get people that think they know that what they're talking about, and they are going to try to keep you off track, or they're going to have negative things that they say. All the time people are going to say it's naysayers. Not necessarily are they like attacking Atkins because they know what they're talking about. They just are argumentative a lot of the times, and they want to say, no, that's a horrible thing to do. And usually, hey, if they haven't tried it, they haven't lost weight with it, they really can't say much. And books like this, you know, for $3 or $4 or whatever, and I'll put some in the links, put some links in the description below, can be a huge benefit. I personally like to argue. That's why I like to educate myself, so I know exactly what I'm talking about. And then when people come at me like that, I don't feel defenseless, especially at like barbecues or family outings and stuff like that. Not that I even go to those anymore, but I'm just saying, if that actually comes up, because it will, it's better to be solid prepared. And it's a great idea to have the knowledge in your mind, especially when you're changing your lifestyle. You have to have that type of thing at hand. Number 7, try to start your meal plan or the Atkins diet phase 1, or any kind of fitness routine or exercise routine or diet routine or lifestyle change when you are not going to be doing vacations, huge family outings, or anything like that. I would say the best time frame is, they say 2 weeks. I say give it a month, especially if you have a really hard time with temptations, cravings, hunger, and stuff like that, or just self-discipline and telling yourself, hey, don't do that. I would say a month is probably key, because at a month you're going to see a lot of results. If you're staying strict to a meal plan, you could, I mean, I've lost as much as 26 pounds in 1 month. So if you lose 26 pounds, you're going to be a lot better off mentally to be able to say no to that food, no to those temptations, no to the family member that's constantly trying to feed you God knows what. So it can be a lot easier and a lot more beneficial if you just wait until those vacations and stuff like that are over. Am I saying don't start? No. If you have a huge amount of self-discipline and self-control, please start whenever. But I'm saying if you feel like you could be tempted because of these outings, because of these vacations, then please definitely don't start until you have about a 2 to 4 week span before you have to go anywhere or do anything. It'll give you a really good base and a good time to do your research, a good time to set up, you know, what you're going to be eating, what your meals are going to look like while you're gone and stuff like that. Number 8 is, obviously we all know that there's like Atkins products, there's Atkins shakes, there's Atkins snacks, treats, meal plan replacements. There's all kinds of Atkins products. Although, unfortunately, they are quite expensive. I find myself to be on the lower bracket of income. I think I'm living off of like $200 a month right now, which is quite low. And that's including food and everything. So when you're actually low on income, if you're not low on income, I definitely I recommend fresh vegetables and fresh meat regardless. If you're not low on income, you can maybe pay somebody to create your meal or to cook your meals for you, and that's perfectly fine. And that's a thing. Yes, I know, that's a thing for a lot of people. But if money's not an issue, it could be a really convenient way to do the Atkins diet and follow the regimen, as well as still getting in all the nutrients that you need. Although it's about $100 a week on the low end to be able to follow Atkins meals and my meal plans, which kind of basically follow an Atkins mindset, very low carb, very nutritious and everything like that, but they're all going to be whole foods. I don't use any of the Atkins products, I don't use any of that, but I usually use the 18 to 22 carbohydrates. And that being said, I use fresh vegetables and meat. I don't use any other products. I don't insert anything. I definitely don't condone necessarily. My theory is shop around the outside of the store. You get your cheeses on the outside. You get your meats on the outside. You get your vegetables on the outside. All the crap in between can be completely ignored. Walk right out of the store and then you're good to go. The side note of that is if you're not doing the Atkins products and stuff like that, and I will tell you, yes, it is a ton easier to do that, but it's not a lot of work to actually meal prep. It's only about an hour or two a week, maybe on your day off or something like that. You feel good, you get, the more you do anything, the better you get at it. But I will say, to meal prep, it costs between $30 and $50, and it's about $100 to follow the Atkins products. So big, huge change. If you're looking to save money, it's definitely the way to go. My meal plans steer towards that, and that's going to be a fresh approach versus like microwave dinners and artificial shakes and sweeteners and stuff like that. Number 9, we know, like I just spoke about, we know a lot about sugar alcohols, and if you don't know a lot about sugar alcohols, please check out my videos. Basically what sugar alcohols are is kind of like a reverse of the carbohydrates. So if something has, you know, net carbohydrates of 10 and it's got, you know, 3 carbohydrate or 3 fiber and 3 sugar alcohols, well then those get deleted and then you come up with 4 net carbs. So although sugar alcohols are acceptable in the Atkins diet, they can stall weight loss. They do with me. If I drink a shake, you know, twice a day, it can definitely stall my weight loss, and I have substantial issues with continuing on my weight loss. Number 10, I get this question a lot. Does alcohol stall weight loss? Does alcohol, okay for Atkins? Alcohol, people are like, well, my whiskey has no carbohydrates. Okay, so yes, it stalls weight loss. Pretty much your body is going to not necessarily pop out of ketosis. Maybe a shot here and there would be okay for you. Obviously, like wines and stuff like that with loads of sugar and carbs are not going to be a good idea. I don't personally recommend it. I think, you know, obviously, you know, drinking too often, especially beer. If you want a low carb beer, Michelob Ultra is going to be 2.6 grams of net carbs per serve or per beer. So remember, that's per beer. That's not per case, per 60 pack or whatever. They don't even make 60 packs, but if they did, I mean, what the hell, that's pretty cool. But it will definitely stall your weight loss for between 24 to 36 hours. So, and yes, there's cases, if you were like hiking through the Alps and you had literally nothing but alcohol and you're like, well, I lost weight because that's all I had. Okay, I understand, dude. Like, I'm not here to argue with you. I'm just saying what I know from personal experience. Alcohol will definitely stall weight loss, and I would definitely steer towards it. Steer towards it. Oh my gosh, that's horrible. Here's the whiskey. Okay, that was awkward. I'm a whiskey drinker myself. I'm not trying to hide that. But the cool thing is, once you get your body back or your body or whatever, you hit your goal weight, it'd be nice to plan a vacation and then go take some cool selfies while you're drunk and you look great. It's gonna be a lot funner when you get to your goal weight to be able to do those things and experience those things, trust me. I get this question a lot. Number 11 is weigh your food, measure it, use a scale, and yes, it absolutely matters. People always tell me, well, I can eat as much protein as I want because it's not as high in calories, there's no carbs, and there's no sugar. You can't. You definitely can't, okay? This is what a digital scale looks like. This is what I use for my meat and stuff like that. It's about 10 bucks. I'll put a link in the description below. You can find them on Amazon, and yes, it supports my channel. I am an Amazon affiliate, and it will give me a commission. I don't hide that. Also, it's important that you meal prep. I will put a link in the description. These are the Tupperware I use. They're super cheap. They're called Rubbermaid. I think they changed the name. They're called Take-Alongs now. They used to be called Takeaways, which I screwed up in like 10 videos and said the wrong thing. But they're for a 4-pack, I think it's like $2-3 bucks. You can also find them at Walmart. I support my channel, screw Walmart. No, I'm just kidding. Oh my gosh, that was horrible. I should not have said that. I'm just kidding. I shop at Walmart every day. I love Walmart. We're not going to go into that. But measuring cups are also really important. Also, a good general rule of thumb, if you don't have a scale, A good general rule of thumb on your size of protein for your 3 large meals per day would be the size of your palm of your hands and the thickness. So the palm of your hand, and yours is obviously going to be different than the next person, you know. And importantly, that you need to realize, if for some reason you don't have your hand around, a deck of cards is a good size of protein mentally to be able to put in your head so that you can work towards that. So if you go to a barbecue, it's not okay to eat 25 hamburger patties just because there's no carbohydrates and you did not eat the bun. 1 patty, that's it. That's all you need. Some sides of vegetables and you're good to go. So please check out the links in the description below. You do need measuring cups. It is very important. You can very easily get completely screwed up without measuring cups. Also, no excuses. These can be found for a couple bucks at Walmart. These can be found for 88 cents for an entire pack at Walmart. Please, don't make excuses. It's important that you actually measure these things. Number 12 might need some more room for explanation in a separate video, and I've covered it in a lot of videos. If you put in ketone strips or keto sticks or ketosis, one big impact on the internet, usually my videos will pop up. So these are ketone strips and ketosis or ketosis sticks or whatever. Basically, you urinate on them, and on the side it will give you a graph to go by. It's not really important where you test. As long as you're not in the negative, you should be perfectly fine. It doesn't matter if you're all the way in purple or in light pink. It doesn't really matter. I've lost weight in all stages. It's not important. The important thing is that you're just testing in a positive manner. Somebody scolded me this morning on the internet and said, "You don't know what you're talking about. You can obviously use a blood monitor and stuff like that." Yes, they're significantly more expensive. You have to buy the strips. They are available, and I will put links in the description below. They are said to be more accurate. I personally like pissing on the stick and being done. I don't like poking myself all the time, but it's just like being diabetic. You're gonna stab your finger, you test your blood, whatever. If that's what you want to do, I do know that I will put a link in the description below. I have bought one for about 20 bucks. It'll be in the links below. Basically what ketosis means, the short version of it without going into all kinds of confusing stuff, is going to be, what you need to do is get into a state of ketosis because your body naturally wants to burn carbs and sugar first. If you limit the carbs and sugar that you're intaking, your body has no choice but to burn fat and become a fat adapted process burning item. So you actually, instead of burning carbs and sugar, your body has no choice but to burn fat, hence stored fat. So you turn your body over to a fat burning machine. Number 13, at the beginning of your journey, you need to make sure that you are weighing yourself, taking your measurements, and taking before pictures, and at the end you will take after pictures. A lot of the times you're going to change circumference-wise rather than actually weight-wise. So it's important. I personally don't recommend, if you have an old scale, get a new one. Please don't use the ones that go like this because it's so hard to tell exactly what they're saying. I will put a link in the description for a inexpensive scale and a little bit higher end scale, and maybe like a Fitbit scale or something like that. Also, Fitbits, I'll put a link in the description below. They can be really motivational. I just hit 100,000 steps in a day, walked for 17 hours straight. I'm kind of proud of myself. And it was actually really cool. And honestly, it was this that inspired that. So I will put links in the description below for all of those things, but it's really important that you create a space where you measure yourself, where you weigh yourself, and it's important that you go to that space every day. I would put some before pictures up, maybe some old pictures when you were in shape up for inspiration, as well as maybe an inspirational outfit that you want to fit into, and also maybe a calendar where you're checking off the days, a red line through each day that you have successfully achieved, and then maybe a black line when you screw up, so that you know the majority of the days are good, working towards it, and you can feel good about yourself. That way you don't say, oh my gosh, I had a bad day, then the next day is bad, the next day is bad, when you can actually visually see all the red days were good, and then your black days, when you go to that second black day, you're gonna be like, oh crap, okay, not gonna happen. But that could be a really good, you can put the outfit up, you can put the calendar up, you can even put pictures of people that you want to look more like. Obviously, don't obsess over that. But if you know that you can achieve a certain body type or whatever, please, by all means, if that's what motivates you, that's perfectly fine. and I personally do it as well, so I think it's somewhat healthy. Number 14, be a part of a support group. I don't care if it's my group, Healthy Living for a Healthy Life. Obviously, we're the best group in the world, aka freaking family. We're awesome. We're full of tons of positive people. If you're negative, we kick you out. If you're selling crap, we kick you out. If you're bullying people, we kick you out. If you're just a crappy mindset 24/7, I'm sorry, there's counselors for that and stuff like that. I'm not trying to be a jerk. I'm just saying, hey, this is what we're steered towards, helping each other lose weight, achieve our goals, be the best versions of ourselves. And if you're not looking for that, that's okay. That's perfectly fine. You're just on a different path than us. There's nothing wrong with that. But please be a part of a support group because it can help you drastically improve your success rate. The next thing, number 15, is exercise. And a lot of people are like, well, I don't have carbs, I can't exercise. Okay, whatever, dude. I exercised for a solid year, never even swerved off of Atkins one bit. Grinded hard. A lot of the times you can run longer, you can work out harder because you're burning ketones, and studies have shown that ketones can be highly effective as a fuel for exercise. So that being said, obviously if you have a lot of weight to lose, it can be really beneficial because you'll have less sagging skin, you'll tone up, you'll feel better, your endorphins are going to be working better, you're going to feel better about yourself, you're going to be pumped, ready to go, and it's going to stabilize your mood. There's tons. Cardiovascular system, your heart's going to be healthier. All of that is a huge bonus. So please exercise every day. Make sure, thank you Tasha by the way for the awesome wood grain water bottle. Make sure you're drinking all your water a day. Yes, they say 8 cups. I say shoot for a gallon. Why not? It's not going to hurt you. That was the entire thing of water. What did that take? 5 seconds? I'm so tired of hearing the excuse, ew, yuck, I don't like water. Every morning when I eat tomatoes, I gag. I eat them. You know why? First of all, I'm not 5 years old. Second of all, I know my freaking body needs them. That's it. Who cares? Alright, next one. And no, Brenda, I'm not talking to you. Brenda loves her coffee, and that's perfectly fine. Brenda has done this before, and I am okay with that. So, caffeine can cause cravings. It can trigger, it can give you highs and lows in your blood sugar and everything like that. It can cause issues, okay? I would keep the caffeine to a minimum of about, maybe at most, you know, something like this full of coffee, but be careful of your creamers, even the ones that say sugar-free, because they're going to have added sweeteners and stuff like that can really stall your weight loss. The only 2 things that I would put in my coffee at most, heavy whipping cream, and the other thing is like a stevia or a sweet and low. 1 packet, that's it. That's a couple drops of stevia, liquid stevia or something like that. Obviously the healthier version would be like a liquid stevia, but that's definitely up to you. Sweet and low is cheaper, that's why I buy it. I get like 200 packets of it for $1.24 at Wally World. So definitely keep that in mind. Please be careful. It will definitely trigger cravings if you eat more or drink more caffeine than you're supposed to. I don't care if it's tea, I don't care what it is. If it's decaffeinated coffee, why the hell are you drinking decaffeinated coffee? What's the point? You're wasting your money. Send your money to me. Number 17, set your goals. Okay, that can be a really huge pivotal thing, and that's not just with Atkins, that's with anything that you want to achieve in life. Okay, I have a goal set, and I don't know if I'm going to make it now that it's closer. I want to hit 10,000 subscribers in my YouTube channel by Christmas, which is about 15 days away, and I'm at like 7,300. So if by some means of the miracle universe gives me some kind of great blessing, that would be really cool. Please hit the subscribe button below if you watch our video. But 2,700, I don't know if I'm gonna make it, but having that written down, and when you're trying to achieve something really cool like anything in life, especially weight loss, it's really important that you make sure that you have a clear goal set in mind. If you're trying to lose 50, 60 pounds in 20 days, I'm sorry, but it's not gonna work. That is an unreasonable goal. You have to be a little bit more realistic. If you have 50, 60 pounds and you want to do it in 3 or 4 months, perfectly realistic to me. I understand that. Yes, it's a high goal, 15 pounds a month, but is it doable? 100%. Tasha, the one that got me this water bottle, had lost 47 pounds in 30 days and won one of our first challenges. She did really awesome, and I'm really proud of her. But that's not for everybody. You know, she walked every day, she made live videos every day, she worked. I'm getting goosebumps. I got goosebumps, you probably can't see them, but I got goosebumps all over my arms, because just a truly inspirational person, and she put her heart, mind, and soul into meal prepping and actually getting on target and really hit her goals. So, you know, have a visible goal in mind, or else you don't really know what you're gonna hit. So it's important that you do that. Also, a side note, I may talk about this a little bit later, have a journal. It could be as simple, don't make excuses, well I can't afford a journal. I'm gonna put a link in the description below for the journal I recommend. I think it's $5 on Amazon. And I know I'm plugging a lot of stuff, but it's important that you get these things, because it's not a guessing game, you guys. The more specific and the more straightforward that you are to doing this, the more successful that you're gonna be. It's just the way it is. The journal is important for the simple fact that you write down how you're feeling, what's causing you to crave, what your weight loss was when you started, how long you've been on your journey, are you really taking it seriously, how much sleep did I get last night, how much weight did I lose this week, did I buckle when I was out around this friend, or did this friend peer pressure me, do I need to get this friend out of my life because they're not pushing for my dreams like I am. So it can be really important. Obviously, Jennifer, thank you for sending this journal. This is my travel journal, but you can do something really cool too. This is a leather-bound, really good smelling journal. I'll put a link in the description below, but that's gonna be my travel journal. It won't be for weight loss, but it just shows you can have the cool funky one that I put in the description below. You can go to the dollar store, get something like this, or you can even get real fancy and do something like this. Number 19, make sure you research the next phase that you're going to go into. If you're going into phase 2, or if you're starting phase 2 and you're just here to get some information, make sure you're researching where you're going, because once you get to the point of transition, if you just jump into something and you don't know actually what you're doing, it's really important that you step back a little bit. If you have, use the 2 weeks, month, year, whatever you want to be in Atkins induction phase. I don't care how long you want to be in it, but use that time to be able to research, hey, how is this going to affect me in the long term? What am I going to do next? What is my end result going to be? Because technically you're supposed to go phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, maintenance, and you kind of find lasting weight loss, and you find your carbohydrate threshold. So it's important that you do understand where you're going next and be ready for the change. I think I said number 19 before, but this is number 19. It's important that you understand a kind of basic basis. I'm not going to give you all the information on what every meal is supposed to look like, but I'm going to give you a really quick, solid, small, unique understanding of what your meals should look like. They should be meats, dairies, vegetables. What they should not look like is fruits, grains, nuts, seeds, sugars, or anything of that. Number 20 is important because you need to know this. I hear this constantly. People are like, well, I had chicken nuggets, that's chicken, right? Stay away from all breaded foods. Anything that's breaded, yes, there's ways to bread them later with like almond flour or Parmesan cheese or something like that. I understand that, but just general rule of thumb, if you're going somewhere and you're like, well, I'm gonna stop and get some chicken, aka chicken nuggets, or I'm gonna stop and get some KFC, aka crispy chicken thigh or whatever, fried chicken. It's just a definitely no, don't do it. 21, if you're new to this type of lifestyle or this WOE, way of eating, I don't call it a diet because it's not really a diet, it's really a changed lifestyle. What you were doing before, consuming tons of sugar, tons of carbs, was not working for you. Obviously, induction phase is probably not the end-all cure-all. You're not going to stay here. You will transform into other phases and then find your threshold while still eating fruits, nuts, grains, and stuff like that. But it's important that you understand that if you are new here, keep it simple. Keep it really simple. And the reason I created the meal plans is because if you have something that you can follow, please, yes, I know that there's lots of people that love tons and tons of variations to Atkins, keto, paleo, and they want tons of recipes and stuff like that. I understand that, but I will say if you're adding 50 ingredients to something, it's a lot easier to screw up or figure out it's a lot harder to figure out where you went wrong than if you're eating meals that have literally 1 or 2 ingredients. If I'm eating green beans and steak and a piece of cheese, if I did anything wrong, it's really easy to identify, rather than like a Atkins cheesecake with raspberry twist, low carb topping with whipped cream, and it's like, holy crap, you get all that together and it's like 40 ingredients. You're not going to be able to identify what you're doing wrong, what your body is not happy with. Later on, you can do stuff like that because you're finding out your threshold and you can slowly incorporate each food. But I promise you, you might be surprised what your body's not happy with and will reject and start to gain weight. That's why you reincorporate things so slowly, because you might be surprised. You might have a 500 carb a day threshold, but seeds or a certain nut or something was causing you to gain weight. It might be really easy to figure out. Number 22 is beware of hidden carbs. Now you're going to become what I like to call a low carb ninja eventually, or an Atkins diet professional or whatever over time if you take this seriously. But it's really important that you actually look for hidden carbs, hidden sugars and stuff like that, spices, foods that consider themselves low carb. Just because it says it's low carb, like I said before, the pizza place down the street, Venecia's, has a low carb bowl, but there's like 50 carbs in it. Yes, it's lower than the 63 in a slice of pizza, but it's still not low carb enough to be able to be okay. So definitely keep that in mind. It can be as simple as spices like onion powder, spices like garlic powder, parsley. All those things can have a minute amount, and you might not think it's that big a deal, but again, all those things combined could add 4, 5, maybe 10, 15, 20 carbs a day extra on top of what you're doing, and you're like, hey, why am I not losing weight? That could be an easy reason to find out why. Number 23 is, if you're looking to lose less than 20 pounds, this may not be the best video for you. Obviously, it can give you tons and loads of information on starting a new lifestyle, and that can be really beneficial. But remember, this video is an induction phase video. If you have less than 20 pounds to lose, I think it's important that you probably try to start. And you can do induction, that's perfectly fine. But you can also lose, say you have 5 pounds to lose. Maybe Atkins 40 could be better for you. This video is specifically steered towards Atkins phase 1, which is basically 20 carbs or less, or Atkins 20, and Atkins 40 would be 40 carbs or less roughly. So definitely keep that in mind. Atkins 20 is basically designed for, and I'm not the designer, I don't ever pretend to be. Dr. Atkins and the Atkins whole corporation or whatever, they all worry about that kind of stuff. I'm just here to provide the information that I've learned along the way. But Atkins 20 is basically designed to be able to see results fast, break carb and sugar addiction, and kind of get you pumped and ready for the next levels. Finally, number 25, it's important that you stay strict with this meal plan, this diet, whatever you want to call it, this lifestyle, this way of eating, whatever you want to call it, or anything that you're doing in life. If you want the best results, you really have to stay strict. It's important that you follow your exact meal plan. Don't cheat, because if you cheat, you're only cheating yourself. You cheat and you could potentially knock off 3 or 4 days off your weight loss, and it's just not worth it. If you're the type of person that maybe needs a day here and there, I think it's perfectly acceptable to go a month, go 2 months, and then have a day where you kind of just reload on some carbs or whatever. That's probably okay. If you have food addiction, if you know that you could not bounce back, then just don't do it, okay? It's really important that you know yourself, be honest with yourself, and if you know you can't bounce back quick enough, then just don't do it. That's okay. That's perfectly fine. If you do find yourself getting hungry, it's important that you know that you have to be careful about what you eat. You can't eat extra vegetables and stuff like that necessarily. It's a good rule of thumb to maybe grab. I personally go to the deli and I'll get some, have some fresh sliced cheese, some fresh sliced meat. Make sure you watch out for the carbs, because some of the honey hams and stuff like that, or they can inject who knows what, and it's got sugar and carbohydrates in there. But find something low, usually like a buffalo chicken is fine, and like a Swiss cheese or whatever. Get about 3 ounces of each, roll them up, make them different roll-ups or whatever, and you can definitely curb a solid appetite, because the high protein and the high fat's gonna make you feel fuller longer. So we made it. I know, it was a long video. I apologize for that. If you guys are new here, please like, share, comment, and subscribe to our channel. As always, please hashtag be stronger than your excuses. because you really do need to be stronger than your excuses. Excuses are like a-holes. Everybody's got one. We don't need two. So definitely keep that in mind, you guys. I want you guys to spread love, not hate. And also, meal plans, please reach out if you need help with them. On our Facebook group, Healthy Living for a Healthy Life, in the files section in the left-hand margin, there is, if you're on a desktop computer, if not, it's going to be just down in the middle if you're on a cell phone. But on the left-hand side in the file section, I do have some free meal plans. There's only a few of them in there. And right now I'm selling the 8-week program for $80, which is $10 a meal plan, or I can customize meal plans with like dietary restrictions. Thank you, Jennifer, for making the form that I can be able to give people to be able to help them understand, so to help me understand what your dietary restrictions are and stuff like that. As always, if you have medical conditions or any type of medications and stuff like that, please don't ever discontinue them because you think you're healthier or because you think you don't need them right now. Also, if you have medical concerns, heart problems, or anything like that, please consult your physician. I'm not a doctor. I want you guys to be doing this in the most healthy way possible, but it's also important that you take care of you and you consult your physician if you do have medical issues. That being said, please check out our Facebook group. Like I said, Healthy Living for a Healthy Life. I'll put a link in the description below if you're having a hard time finding it. Also, we're on Instagram at One Big Impact now. Also, we're on Snapchat. I don't know why I'm on Snapchat. That's a bad idea. It's extremely distracting, but it's fun. And the other thing is we now have a website. It's called onebigimpact.com. So that being said, check out the links below. I want to know, I had to look down to my list. I want to know about your weight loss journey below. Either you can tell me how much you have to lose, how much you've lost, how long you've kept it off, or just basic overview. I'm curious. So you guys have a beautiful day. Remember to spread love, not hate. And yes, hashtag be stronger than your excuses. Peace, guys. Guys, what's up? It's Jonathan. Welcome. And this is one, wait.